everybody. I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Welcome to another awesome episode of VO Buzz Weekly. What do we have on deck today, Chuck?
On deck today, we have another up-and-comer who is going to take the world by storm. Bo Stevenson. He's here. We're going to talk to him. He's going to inspire the heck out of you. So sit down and get ready to watch.
Here we go. Okay, guys. As promised, here he is, Mr. Bo Stevenson. Hi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
What's
It was like
everybody?
stopped motion.
He's like,
and everything.
hi.
How
Like-
are you? Wait.
No,
here
I'm
we
good.
go.
Wait. Smile. Okay, we promise you we're not going to do this forever, okay?
I know,
This
it's
is
just
for
a
these next few
new
episodes.
thing.
We want to lighten it up a little bit, for
We're
God's
a little obsessed
sake.
with our baby.
Gets a little
girl.
serious in here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We're just trying to make you feel at ease.
Yeah, so man, it's so cool because, you know, when we were talking with Mike last week and talking about, you know, meeting you guys and having the opportunity to work with you and him, and then all of a sudden I noticed that the two of you are having like tremendous success in the voiceover industry, and I'm like, you know, okay, wait a minute. Something's going on here because there's a trick or magic
He's
or
onto something.
Something's happening because how can two guys, okay, did you know, Mike, when you first moved here or before you moved here?
No.
Okay, so here's two guys who don't know each other, okay? You moved to Los Angeles from another state.
Right.
And all of a sudden you meet Mike, and then you're doing great, and he's doing great, and you guys are like comrades, and you're going like, oh yeah, man, did you do that? Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you're like, right? You're like
Supportive
each
of
other's
each
like
other, which is
cheerleaders.
great.
Can I say cheerleaders? Is that bad?
They're male cheerleaders.
In a manly
They're
way.
very strong male cheerleaders. Very good athletes.
And so I'm talking to two of you individually, and I'm like, these guys are like smoking this business like nobody else. I mean, not like that, but you guys are cranking it and making it happen.
For your voice.
And I'm like, what are they doing? So then I talk to them individually, and I'm like, aha, there is something that they're doing to have that success. And that's why we have you on the show. We want you guys to let people know out there that there is a right way to do things to get good things to happen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
ask them some questions, baby.
Well, okay, so let's go back.
Okay.
You decide, like there's so many people watching are going, should I move to LA or New York or Chicago to a larger market? Can I do it? Should I do it? You made that leap. What was it that said, I got to do this? And tell us what was going on with you.
Yeah, you know, it's always a very personal decision to make. And for me, I've got footage from when I was 6 years old, my dad saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm saying, I want to be an actor. You know, that's just always what it's been.
Yeah.
And as a teenager, I found music and theater, and I just fell in love with all of these different things. And I just knew from early on in my life that that's what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. There was never any question.
Yeah.
You know, I remember 12 years old, this very good friend of our family, well-intentioned. She's like, you know, you should maybe lay off all of this other stuff and maybe concentrate on like computer engineering because you'd be really good at that. And I was just like, that could have been like something like, yeah, that's a good idea. But I was like hurt, and I told my mom like, Mom, she's going to be a computer engineer. And my mom's like, no, you can be whatever you want to be. And so I had that kind of support. I've always had that kind of support. You know, my dad's a big athlete. I am not. But when
You're tall.
yeah, I'm a tall guy. I'm 230 pounds of pure man. Pure man?
Pure man. That's
Pure
good.
man.
Pure man is good.
98%,
It's your new,
just to be
that's
safe.
your new fragrance.
New Axe
Pure
Pure
Man.
Man.
Pure man.
Pure Man. Bo Stevenson.
You know, and my dad, every single show I was ever in, always very supportive. And then here I am now married to a beautiful girl who's also extremely supportive. So I think that for me, going into this, having all of that support was the major reason why I'm like, well, let's just go for it, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing is, you know, I served a mission in Argentina, gained a lot of life lessons there. When I came home, my family situation kind of changed, and my mom was in a different state, and I moved along and went through a string of jobs, tried college. None of that really stuck, you know? Because in my heart of hearts, I was always like concentrating on this is where I'm going to go. I didn't know it was voiceover, but I knew that something was on the horizon.
Right.
So for me, you know, I started learning about audio engineering and music production, and you know, I had some amazing experiences with music, and then.
By the way, you're going to continue your story.
Put a bookmark.
If you guys want
Yes.
a little treat, All right. Is your stuff on YouTube?
It is on YouTube. Bo Stevenson Music. Go there.
Bo Stevenson Music
Subscribe
on
today.
YouTube. And he's not kidding.
Beautiful voice.
He's freaking insanely talented, and he's got a great voice, so go check that out after the interview.
And
Okay,
now
go
he's
ahead.
pink.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to sing the rest of the interview.
Please.
No, and so pictures, though, they don't really capture the music.
True.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
singing faces, as
Yeah, yeah.
Beyonce's learned,
Ooh.
not a good
yeah.
idea.
Not
Unfortunate.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not good.
But back
You know
to
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
My last job that I had, I was actually a contract writer. So I was used to being kind of my own boss.
Yeah.
But I only had one client, and that kind of went all downhill and exploded. And so here I am sitting with no job, with all of these skills, and you know, you think at that moment we would have stayed put and kind of built things up, but no.
No.
Balls to the wall, if that's okay to say.
It is
Yeah.
now.
We,
It's the internet.
We moved to Los Angeles. We felt really strongly. We moved here. My wife ended up booking 2 commercials.
Yeah.
The month before we moved, and then one the month that we were here.
Yeah.
And we lived on those 2 checks for like 9 months.
Wow.
Like, I'm telling you guys, we was starving. It was terrible, you know. And but we, you know, I put my head down, and I'm just like, I am here. I need to do something. And you know, not to make this story too long, but I just put my head down. I took this equipment that I had from music, and I'm just like, I am going to do whatever I can to feed my family. And so for me, like, it was do or die. There was no, you know, what does Yoda say? He's like, do or do not. There is no try. You know,
Yeah.
like, that's really how it was
like
for
that.
me.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, I don't mean to get all cheesy, but
No, but
like,
Yoda's a smart
No,
dude.
the stakes were as high as they were ever going to be.
Yoda's a smart dude.
Yeah.
So, you know, in a nutshell, that's a big nutshell. That was probably like 5 minutes.
No, it wasn't, but that was a
Take
good
two.
That's
nutshell.
good.
So you had no choice.
No.
Whatever you did, you had to have success, didn't it?
And my very first agent in Salt Lake sent me on she sent me out for an audition, and I didn't know it was voiceover till I got there. And when I got there was all these amazing, talented people, and I ended up landing it on the spot. And so that kind of lit the fire in my mind. I'm like, hey, there's something there. And it wasn't until a couple years later when I was here that I started pushing for it. But I knew I kind of had a little bit of confidence from past experience.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool, man.
Love it.
I like that.
Yeah, you like it. There's more.
I know there's more. And we're going to have...
Wait, there's more.
So you're very savvy at getting clients and building relationships and keeping ongoing clients.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? What is it that you do, or how do you maintain that makes you so successful and keeps that loyalty, which is difficult?
Well, I'm just so adorable. No, I don't know. Honestly,
You are adorable
I think
and
it's
you're a
your
sweet
humility.
guy.
I think it's your
That's
modesty.
for sure.
No, honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that definitively because everybody's free to make their own choices. I can't tell someone, you better come back to me, you know. But when I'm working with somebody, I try really hard on every level possible to just do a really good job, you know. Don't be okay with, you know, subpar work. Like, I'm finding now that work that I did, or auditions that I did a long, long time ago, that people hung on to those, and now I'm getting work for it, or people are seeing what I'm doing, and it's bringing me work. And so I just try to do the best job I can. I mean, on the technical side, like, you know, my home studio, and then my actual talent, like trying to better myself, and, you know, and all those different things.
That's right. So you don't know everything there is to know yet, right?
Yet.
You're still
Working on it.
Momentarily.
He's
it will-
still out there learning about stuff, and that's one. And we're going to get into all that when we come back for part 3 of this whole thing. But
Yeah.
man,
Well, let's talk about your home studio.
yeah.
Because you
Okay.
primarily work from home, yes?
Yeah, I do.
Is it important to have a good sounding studio? And if so, why?
I'm going to answer that with one word. Yes.
Good.
Next question.
Okay.
No.
Love it.
But
Yeah. That might deserve a little. No, I'm just kidding.
No, please.
No more
please.
pictures.
No, I mean, yeah.
he wasn't kidding. He's like, that's my answer.
No, I mean, it is important to have a good studio. And the reason is, one, you don't want to sit there and worry about, well, do I sound good?
Yeah.
You don't want to worry about that. You want to have it all set up so that you can just walk in and you can just be the actor.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you have this awesome audio that you can send off to the client. Like, nothing makes me happier The number 2 thing that makes me happy is when the director's really happy with the performance. But the number 1 thing that makes me happy is when the audio engineer reaches out to me and says, dude, this is great stuff, man. You know, you made my
life
They don't
easy.
have to do anything to it.
Yeah, they're just like, this is great. You know, and obviously some people want their audio raw.
Yeah.
Other people want it, you know, like I know about engineering and I've kind of honed my sound. And if people are like, we really liked how you sounded on that one spot, can you just recreate that? I say, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I try to be as flexible as possible to make it so that they have what they need. And so like for me, I do a lot of my commercial and promo work, most of it with the Sennheiser, the 416.
Yep.
I run that out through the Avalon, which you have.
Yep.
You helped me with some of the settings on there.
Cool.
And
I did.
and then that runs in
You
through
owe me
the
money, dude.
Yeah, what was that?
I want some money.
Oh, that's the
No,
money.
I'm just kidding.
You guys owe me some money, okay? The Velvet Mafia is gonna collect.
And yeah, I just got the audio chain going through the Universal Audio, the Apollo, by the way.
Oh,
That thing
I
is
know,
freaking
dude.
amazing.
I'm looking at it. I've been looking at it big
Oh,
time.
dude, I have the Apollo Twin.
Yeah.
Just because for music production, it's
Yeah.
like
I'm
there's
getting
nothing better.
the quad, the Apollo quad.
Oh,
Dude,
It's insane.
oh my gosh.
I know, it's beautiful.
Like, I gotta go
Boys,
change my pants
boys.
now.
Yeah, okay, back to the story here.
back to Beau's choice.
So for me, just like having, and this is I should probably say this. You know, at the beginning, I didn't have all this.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you've grown into it.
My wife built me like these big wooden folder things with like carpet on them, and she actually built it for my birthday. Total
I
surprise.
didn't know your
So
wife was a
sweet.
contractor.
She
is.
actually went to Home Depot and demanded that someone help her build it. Anyway,
We love her.
she's amazing. She's a go-getter. But you know, over time, I kind of took what I had and I was like, you know, I have enough money right now. I'm going to upgrade this.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, you see everything that you bought. You're like, holy scheisse, you know. But for me, like I've grown with my studio, and it pays me back in dividends every time I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know.
Do you think it's made a big difference in your booking frequency
Oh,
now
absolutely.
that you absolutely
Oh
without
yes.
a doubt?
Now, I'm not even going to answer that question.
Okay,
Next.
good.
No, I'm
I'm
just
glad. And now again, okay, seriously,
Apparently
the
his
reason
ego is
No, I'm
growing
just kidding.
with
I'm
his
just kidding.
career.
the reason why we have had Mike on the show and now Bo on the show is because I
They're
told
no
you guys
joke.
they're out there and they're making things happen and they're booking like mad and making a ton of dough. But the reason for that, it's not just because they are talented.
Yes.
They're doing certain things to make sure that it's check, 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 boom, got the job. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Making
it
sure
is.
that everything you send out
Quality is
sounds
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hugely talented and you walk in the room and you didn't shower and you didn't brush your hair and your breath was just stinky and you know, like all of those things don't necessarily take away from the talent that you have inside of you, but why not present it in the best light? That's what I think.
I
you
love
know?
that.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's really good, yeah.
I want to lead into this. The pay-to-play sites, a lot of people are like, oh, well, everybody's on there and people are underselling themselves. It's true. People are underselling themselves. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And for me, I made a commitment to myself that I was never going to undersell myself ever. And so I'm using the same tools that a lot of other people are having a little bit of success with. I'm having a lot of success with. And I think it's because I try to build that value in what I have to offer. And when I tell somebody this is my rate, you know, I'm not messing around, and they know that I'm not messing around.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know how else to say it, but
no,
that's-
it's beautiful.
yeah.
You just said it
Yeah.
beautifully because the bottom line
Well, you
is,
have to know your
what they're going
value.
to get for your rate is the best sound possible, some great acting, a great sound, and some guy who just knows how to talk to people and work his gear, and you're there to help. I mean, you're going to facilitate everything that they need, you know,
Right.
and give them the best possible product. That's what you get. That's what you should be doing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like I always tell people, if you're out there doing jobs for $50, not only are you hurting yourself, but you are hurting the entire
Entire
industry.
business.
Because this industry is not something like, oh yeah, I want to get in the voiceover business, so as long as I have a credit card and a USB mic that costs me, you know, $50 and this, I'm good to go. No, you're not. And so if you take it seriously, I mean, you could make insane amount of money, but you have to be serious about it.
You have to be serious. And you told me this. Should I tell them that you told me this?
If I told you and it
Let's
was
see what you-
good, then
let's see what
say
you
it because I
said.
probably forgot. I'll tell you if I told you.
But, I mean, really, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I see this in all different areas of life. If you find something that you're naturally good at, that you haven't really done a whole lot with, but you have a knack for it, it's like throwing gas on the fire when you work really hard at it. You can take something that you're pretty good at, and then next thing you know, you're the go-to guy. And so for me, like, voiceover was just kind of like fish to water. You know, I jumped in, I'm like, the very first campaign I ever booked, I did a scratch read for a director friend of mine, and he ended up pitching it to the company, and I picked up Gold's Gym for a regional campaign. I ended up doing like 8 spots. And for me at that time, I'd never done anything else before, but it just worked. I worked well with the director, like, the copy made sense to me. And so, for me, like, I had to have some honest moments with myself during that 9 months of starvation, which isn't very long, but when you're in it, it feels long. You know, and really at the end of the day, I was just like, I'm good at this. I'm good at this, and this is worth my time, and this is worth the sacrifice. And
well, during those times, I mean, because we have the ups and the downs. We make money, we lose money. We're making no money, which I always say, it just means that there's more room in my bank account for the money when it decides to get printed and brought to me. But we get told no sometimes a lot more than we get told yes.
I get told no all the time.
How do you manage in those times? What drives you? What feeds you to keep going?
The way I see it is, somebody doesn't need me. They don't want to work with me for whatever reason. It's none of my business. I have no desire to invest my feelings into that. You know, obviously I get my hopes up for certain things every now and again if that really cool audition comes in, because I know how it feels to land something that's big. And of course everybody wants to land those. But ultimately it's none of your business who they pick. And just knock it off. Just move on, you know? Move on to the next thing. I always find that the best opportunities, the best doors to open for you are the ones that you can open for yourself. And so if a door's not opening, just move on. There's another door.
That might be open.
That might be
for
open.
You.
Yeah, the custodian will meet you and he'll open it up for you. And you're
there
like, hey,
you go.
thanks, man.
It's like, I have a key for this door. You know what? Yes, I do.
And to expand that metaphor, no. I'll just leave that there.
No, you stand there picking the lock. It's like,
I
maybe that's not what you're supposed to be opening.
I talk to voice talents who are still talking about auditions they did 6 months ago. And it's just like, don't do that. You know, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even have a chance to really put in a good effort. You know?
You gotta move it on.
I don't even mean to get all preachy here,
but that's good, man.
No, but you have to move. You have to keep moving.
Absolutely, that's really good.
Here's my shameless plug time. Chuck Duran.
Yes, ma'am.
You are the wind beneath my wings. And you helped me get my career going when I first got here. You had the experience of working with Chuck, getting your amazing demos. I always say, Chuck has the ability to, his ears are insanely fine-tuned, but he can only draw out what is within someone. You had the experience working with him, and I know I think it was a pretty good one. You kept coming back. So what was the process like for you, and what made it different for you from other experiences?
I just felt coddled. I don't know how else to say it. I felt like I was a little baby all swaddled. And it was just like, it's going to be okay, Bo. It's going to be okay. No, I remember the first time I met with you, I'm just like, who is this guy? You know, I was like at ease. I mean, I don't know how long the session went, but we were like hanging out for like 5 hours. But we were having a blast, and when we were done, we had an outline of what my demos were going to be, and they were just like, I mean, you hit on everything in me that was marketable, and it shocked me. I was like, wow, I'm a lot more marketable than I thought. You know, and I know that you answered this in the last episode, but seriously, if you ever just gave up production, you'd be an amazing coach. Not just a voiceover coach, but like a life coach. Like, get up there on the stage and be like, you can do it. You know, like, you can do it. Motivational.
I'd put rhinestones on the pom-poms.
Oh gosh. maybe that's the next part of my life, man.
we should incorporate pom-poms in the show.
I remember this.
That's
okay?
true.
I remember when I was working with you on new demos. I remember one thing that really like hit me hard, and that's like, because you have a background in engineering. So I remember you thinking, and I think you even told me this, but you were thinking, well, you know, I'm an engineer too, and I can produce stuff. What's this guy going to do that I can't do?
Is that true or false?
No, it's true, because he had other stuff on there,
got the facial
and
thing
so
going,
he didn't know, you know, what's going to happen. And then when you heard the finished product, you were like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. What you helped me with was way more than just twisting knobs and slapping tracks together. It was the order that the demos were in. It was how they were written. written for me, and it was. Did you write the spot, Stacy? I didn't know.
Stacy writes all the scripts
Are you
for all the
serious?
demos. That absolutely do. She's insanely.
They're really, really
talented.
good.
Yes,
Thank you.
So,
absolutely.
Stacy, have her write your copy.
Yeah.
No, I mean just everything. Everything had its place. It all fit together. It was like a finely woven thing, and when it was all laid out, I'm just like, holy shisa. It was like when you add up all the parts and they're greater than they are separately. That's how it was. I mean, it was great. I listened to it. I'm like, holy, this is awesome. I felt like a rock star. And so, for me, I hit the ground running with that, because for me, I lean heavily onto my demos. I book a lot of just directly off my demos because people hear it and
Sure.
And I remember during the process, you and I were talking about ideas of what we were going to do, and one spot you're like, hey, let's do like a Krasinski type sound. I'm going to plug serious plug right here for Chuck. So we took Esurance.
Speak very slowly.
We took an Esurance spot, and Chuck and his wisdom. No, we took that and we broke it down, and you're like, you could do something like this. Let's do Ally Bank. And so we did something that was pretty much an Esurance ripoff.
Right.
But catered to me. Well, fast forward, just a month ago or so, I get a phone call. Turns out the producers, the directors over there at Esurance had heard my demo, and they're like, oh, that's the guy. Turns out that John Krasinski had a legal problem with his online campaign that he'd done for them, and they had to take it off. But they had all these videos that they put together, and they're like, what are we going to do? 9 videos, and probably more. I booked that just because I would
had that on your demo.
Yeah, they listened to that, and they're like, that is legit. That works.
Yeah.
We're booking that.
Yeah. Well,
so I just got to say, like, it worked,
well, I'm
Well, and
glad,
that's
dude.
a huge strength for you, because and that's a huge strength for having the right kind of demo producer, because it has to be relevant content to what you hear in the marketplace now. It has to be the music, the sound effects, the copy, the delivery has to be what's on trend and what's happening. And if you don't work with someone who doesn't study what's happening, then your demo is not going to feel like it's current.
Well, some people want to be the auteur, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They want to be the guy that does everything and does everything perfectly. Those people are rare, and maybe at some point you'll be able to do that with your talents. But I know for me, like, I'm not going to go out and shoot a movie and then just, do everything by myself. I'm going to have a crew, and everybody's going to be really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And you're really good at what you do, and hopefully I'm okay at what I do, but, joining forces, it was the right thing for me to do. And I got to say, like, the money that I invested, it was like, oh, this is a lot of money. But I made it back so fast.
I don't know why you're scaring people. I don't charge that much.
No, that's
$40,000.
Okay, no. Seriously,
the $50,000 is worth it.
Hold on. Let me just ask you this.
50,000 pesos.
For the money that you're making,
Oh, yeah.
okay?
Sorry, that
The investment
take
of
two?
a demo is like a pair of freaking
So
socks.
much.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, seriously speaking, but because
before
you chose...
you're making the money, it feels like a lot, but it's
That's true.
absolutely
You chose to
worth
build a
it.
big business. I ask people all the time, you know what? You could buy a franchise, any franchise, Gold's Gym franchise. It's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're going to make 80 grand a year. All right? Right?
Yeah.
So you bought yourself a job with that much money. So a demo is like a pair of socks.
Oh, here's the thing. Like, it's silly to me when I book.
Now he's silly. It's like,
when I look at what I was making before, which was good, like, I had a good start. The demo that I had made myself from stuff that I'd done, it was working.
Yeah.
So I knew I was ready to take that next step.
Right.
I had that confidence coming in here, and then you made me even feel better about myself.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was the right time, and it was the right thing for me to do. Obviously, you don't want to jump the gun and make something that 6 months from now, after you've improved leaps and bounds, that it's not going to even be marketable anymore.
Yeah.
But I felt ready. I felt ready, and
exactly. And of course, you don't want to make a huge investment in a demo that's costs good money until you're actually ready to make that demo.
Right.
You want to be prepared.
There's a lot of people out there that prey on you, and they'll happily take your money.
Yeah.
And I've just always been really impressed about the way that you work. I've sent people to you where they weren't quite ready, but I wanted them to talk to you, and you straight up were just like, let's try some of this stuff, but come back to me later, and then we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's...
Well, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in business to help people out and treat people the way you want to be treated, then you're just cool like that.
Yeah.
Did I just say I was cool?
You are cool.
You're so
okay.
cool. You're such a cool guy. Classic Chuck.
Wait.
Okay, Bo, what we love about you and Mike Brang, who was on last week, is you guys are in the business that is today. You are starting out in the world of social media and the website and all the different new media that's going on right now. You guys are beginning your business in this time. There's a lot of people like you watching that are in that same position, maybe haven't made that leap, maybe are kind of holding back or feeling like, I don't know if I can do it. What advice do you have for somebody watching who's maybe on the fence or who just needs that little nudge of inspiration or wisdom? What would you say to them?
I would say you really have to believe that you have a lot to offer, especially when you're going into that social media scene, because it's so daunting. There's people with millions of followers, and you're like, well, how am I going to do that? You know?
Right.
And the answer is, you know, you're going to do what you need to do to be successful. And what I've found is what resonates with people the most is if you're just yourself and excited and just passionate. You know, people, it doesn't matter if they're interested in particularly what you're doing with your career or not, but people do respond to passion.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Casting directors respond to it, producers, directors, other actors.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I mean, people respond to that. And so if you can find that passion in your life, it'll resonate into your social media, how you approach auditions, when you walk in the room and meet new people. You'll attract the kind of people into your life that you need to have there, that support system. Like Mike Brang, him and I, we talk several times a day, you know? Like, we really lean on each other for help, for advice.
Yeah.
You know, like, some days I have a down day, you know, and having a buddy there that's just like, dude, you can do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are very
Helpful.
special. You're
Yeah, it's really, really cool,
brothers
man.
in voiceover. It's wonderful, and it speaks a lot to both of your character and your generosity and the fact that you're not going, oh, I don't want to tell you that because that's my deal.
No.
You're both very generous and very lean that hand out and help, and I think that's wonderful, and it's going to continue to give you the blessings from it.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
my premonition.
Absolutely.
Well, I just got to say it, you know, you have to, in your life, you have to create that support system. You have to have something that you can lean back on when you can't stand up on your own. You know, I'm going to get emotional here. All right. When I was first starting, things were happening, things were going on, and I knew that this was something I had to do, and my mother-in-law loaned me money. She's just like, here's some money. And that money I've invested back into my business probably 10 times now. And like, it's the equivalent of like getting like $100,000.
Yeah.
Like, when I think back, like, just everybody who's helped me.
Yeah.
I haven't been in this that long, you know. I'm so lucky. I'm so
How long have you
lucky.
been in the voiceover business?
Hey, this is my, I started in January of 2013. You know, like it's stupid. I know. People are gonna be like, ah, you know,
No, but that
I feel
says
lucky.
a lot.
It says a lot.
I feel really, really lucky. And yes, it is hard work. And the harder you work, the luckier you get. And you prep yourself, and when the opportunities happen, you know, it all comes to a head. I get that.
Yeah.
I know, because
50
to 80 hours a week is how much I'm working.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, like, I feel like the luckiest guy I know.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you are pretty lucky, and I remember one thing.
Love it.
We're going to close the segment with something that you told me that I'll never forget because it was so sweet. There was so much passion behind it, and it was just so cool. And you said to me, I want to be really super successful in this business because I want to give my wife that I love more than anything in this world everything she'd ever want.
Oh, well, now we're all crying.
And that was freaking cool, dude.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
That's the real
Mike.
stuff right there, man.
We're all crying now.
Yeah, well, you know
We're
what?
crying.
Because it's real, though.
Why don't we have absorbent
bottom line-
apples?
Woo!
Yeah, but the bottom line is this. Both of these guys
Oh,
have
beautiful.
passion. They're out there. They're making it happen, man. You guys are. There's no hold back. There's no fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything that you're doing is because it's coming from the heart. And all I'm here to say is the reason why these two guys, we brought them on the show, is to let you know, okay, that if you put your heart and soul into whatever it is that you really want to do, you're not going to fail. We're going to be back next week with both Mike and Bo, and it's going to be freaking crazy. So, until then, cheers.
Hey, this is Bo Stevenson here. I just got buzzed with Chuck and Stacy here at VO Buzz Weekly. It's freaking awesome. Do you want me to like promise the moon to people?
Well, how cool is that? First, we brought you Mike Brang, then
Yep.
we brought you Bo Stevenson,
Yep.
two guys that are out there making it happen, giving you a ton of information, inspiration, letting you guys know that yes, you can do it too. Next week, we're bringing them
Gets
both.
even better.
They're going to both be here at the same time, right? You're going to get a 2-for-1 special.
Yes.
Buy one, get one free. It's going to be totally awesome. Join us.
Yes, don't miss it. And between now and then, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest at VO Buzz Weekly. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. And just remember,
You always have time for a little buzz.